the Granada Community Services District. And first thing we're going to do is call this meeting to order. And Delia, will you please provide a roll call?
Sure. Rick Barker.
Here.
Pat Tierney.
Here.
Susanna Cantrell. Not here. Fran Pollard.
Here.
Michelle Dragany.
Here.
Lyle Caulfield. Don't see him. And Ethan Rayner.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The first part of the meeting is an opportunity for the public to make any public comments on Parks and Recreation related subject matter that's not on the agenda. So if it's not on the agenda, you are free to make any comments right now during this time period and any public comment periods during the meeting. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. And does anybody want to comment? If you do, you can either raise your hand, turn on your video and raise your hand. That's probably the easiest thing to do. I don't see any hands raised. So we're going to proceed with the agenda for today. The first item on the agenda is to discuss results of the public outreach plan for the potential disc golf course on Carrillo Unified School District property and recommendations to the board. So first thing, I want to set the stage for this. And then we'll take public comments after a chance for the Park Advisory Committee to make comments. And then we will open it up to public comments after that. So let me introduce the topic. The Parks Advisory Committee was approached by local disc golf enthusiasts to build a disc golf course on CUSD-owned parcel of vacant land referred to as the Sonora Sevilla Coral Reef property. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what we're talking about. Volunteers and professional disc golf course designer prepared a proposal. The initial proposal was reviewed by the GCSD board on May 19, 2022, and they authorized the PAC to collect community feedback regarding the proposal. This ongoing public feedback effort is only an early step in the process. Nothing has been decided yet. Nothing has been approved yet. At this point, all we wanted to do is gather public feedback on the proposal. Tonight, we are going to review public comments and decide if the proposal should move forward and be revised to address reasonable public concerns. If the PAC thinks it should move forward, then the disc golf subcommittee will try to address concerns and suggestions raised by the public, the GCSD board, the CUSD board, and provide the Granada Community Services District Board with a revised proposal. There would also need to be further discussions with CUSD. Note that there will be additional opportunities for the public to comment on any revised proposal. So tonight, we will quickly look at the summarized public comments to date, hear any new public statements, discuss the merits and concerns about the proposal, identify any suggested changes, and then vote to see if the proposal should go back to the disc golf subcommittee for revision or not be considered any further. Does everybody understand what we're trying to do here with this first topic? No decisions have been made. We're trying to address and learn about public comments at this point and decide if we are going to move this forward with revisions or let it lay right there. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up. Sounds like we're all in understanding of that. Okay, given that, I'd like to provide a little bit of background on the proposal. In early 2022, PAC members talked with CUSD superintendent about the possibility of a disc golf course on this site. He was open to receiving the proposal and listed some requirements. Here they are. First, nothing permanent could be placed on the property. Nothing that would require much concrete, no asphalt, and no buildings would be allowed. All improvements must be able to be removed within 30 days with notice. An MOU, a lease of 5 to 10 years, which could be renewed, liability insurance, and a rental fee with no amount identified at this point would also be required. The fee would be reduced by the cost of improvements that GCSD makes, such as tree trimming. We made it clear that GCSD would not pay for tree maintenance on all the property, only in the active course areas, and then only dangerous branches or fallen trees would be removed on the course. The superintendent was sent a proposal and our public outreach plan. Thus far, he has remained willing to consider a proposal and MOU from the district. Then on June 19th, the GCSD Parks and Recreation webpage described the proposed disc golf course in El Granada and asked for public comments. Starting July 21st, a flyer announcing the disc golf proposal was placed in the El Granada post office. Flyers were placed on the doorstep of 62 houses along the perimeter of the community CUSD parcel. 6 signs were placed around neighboring streets. Information was placed on El Granada next door, sent to HMB Review and Coastside Buzz. And an email with the flyer was sent to the public mailing list of the district. A supplemental questions and answer sheet with some proposed mitigation measures was emailed to persons who submitted comments by email. This following summarizes some proposed mitigation. So I'm talking a lot here. I'll slow down, but does everybody understand how the process has gone along to this point? Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to move on then to what the following summarizes proposed mitigation for this proposal. We expect use levels to be low to moderate, a maximum of around 35 players per weekend day, and less on weekdays. Not all these users would come at the same time. Most of the users will be local residents. This compares with over 100 current users of the property per weekend day. No large disc golf events or classes will be hosted at this site. No disc golf will be played after sunset. Good luck if you can even find the baskets. We project a maximum of 6 cards at any one time for disc golfers. There is a 10-car public parking lot at the east end of Coral Reef Avenue adjacent to the proposed course, as well as other off-street parking. Current users, those are dog walkers, hikers, and bicyclists, will be able to continue using the space as they do today. The course will be designed to minimize discs flying along well-established paths. And I might add, many disc golf courses in the Bay Area are in multiple use areas with lots of different users. It is extremely unlikely that discs will fly into yards. That's a concern that has been raised. A professional disc golf course designer will lay out the hole so that no close tee shots, if you will fly towards nearby homes. In addition, there will be a 30 to 50-foot buffer zone between course play areas and any house. No healthy trees will be removed. Some dead trees and fallen or hanging branches may be removed for safety reasons. Trees are an essential part of the disc golf game, providing aesthetic beauty and obstacles to curve around. There is nothing about the disc golf proposal that would generate additional fire risk than current users already have. Smoking would be prohibited. We propose to mow a 30-foot wide strip of vegetation around the boundary between the course and the homes as a fire mitigation measure now. That's currently not done. There is no evidence that disc golf players would generate more trash than current users, but one trash can and one recycling receptacle will be placed in the center of the course and emptied on a regular basis. Currently, there are no trash or recycling receptacles in the property. A single portable toilet will be placed at the center of the course and maintained on a regular basis. Currently, there are none. Existing trees and shrubs will persist as they have in the past. No irrigation or no mowing is required for a disc golf course, except for hand tool trimming of vegetation as mostly grass and low brush in the fairways and around targets during the initial construction period. A 30-foot wide strip of vegetation, as we mentioned before, will be mowed along the property boundary and adjacent houses. The course will not be constructed during spring bird nesting season. GCSD will only maintain the areas used for disc golf. In the long run, no mowing and very little maintenance will be needed for disc golf features. Volunteers from a local disc golf club will do general maintenance, actually propose to build it, and will do general maintenance, a licensed tree service for tree work, and a licensed mowing company for perimeter mowing will be used. Occasionally, we'll need to remove fallen branches and other natural debris from the areas where discs often land. The course equipment, that is tee areas and targets, will require simple, infrequent maintenance, such as raking the tee areas occasionally and replacing any damaged targets. So with that, those are some of the mitigation measures that we're proposing related to this disc golf proposal. Again, nothing has been decided, including these mitigation measures, but these are the proposal at this time. So I wanted to open it up to PAC committee members to see if you had any questions about the proposal or the mitigation measures. Rick.
How does this compare to the current vegetation management strategy that CUSD currently employs? I know they currently go through there and disc large sections of it, and they just did a big fuel reduction program. This actually sounds like it would be less invasive than they are currently doing on an annual basis.
Okay, I did talk to CUSD about what they do, and it doesn't happen every year.
Okay.
But they occasionally mow a strip along the perimeter near houses. They occasionally do tree trimming, especially eucalyptus along coral reef that are close to houses. Last year, I understand what they primarily did was tree trimming work to remove dangerous branches or leaning trees along coral reef.
On the upper portion, they also did a bunch of shredding and vegetation, fire reduction stuff of brush too. So I didn't know if that was an annual thing or if that was just that. So that was quite invasive to the area, and it looks much better now. But I don't think the disc golf would be anywhere near that much machinery.
Well, the proposal for fire mitigation is to mow a 30-foot swath around the perimeter. And that's already done along Coral Reef. But if you go near Madrona and some of the other streets interior, that hasn't been done in the last year because the brush has gotten quite high.
I think that was my only concern. Thank you for presenting all this tonight, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Pat, I had a question. There's quite a bit of county road on that property. Are they the ones that are actually doing the whacking? I mean, can we tell the difference between CUSD's contractors and the county?
I have not heard of the county doing any maintenance on that property. That they possibly could, but I have not heard of any maintenance being done at this time.
Rick, would this be Nick Calderon or Public Works?
Negative. This property is all owned by the Cabrillo School District. There's no San Mateo County Parks or San Mateo County Public Works.
There are paper streets that the county owns all through the place. There's about 3 or 4 of them.
Below Madrona?
Within this area that we're talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think DPW is actually actively doing anything with those paper streets, but
okay.
My understanding, Michelle, is that the county is not maintaining those streets in any way, shape, or form. They're only on paper.
Okay.
I used to be a property owner on Madrona, and they did nothing with those paper streets right below my house there.
Other questions or comments? Ethan, Fran?
Yeah, thank you, Pat. I have a couple comments. First off, really appreciative of all the community members who shared their comments with us. I thought they were all really instructive, and I really appreciate everyone contributing to the betterment of our neighborhood. Real briefly, I can touch on a couple environmental concerns, as in the feedback I saw several or many folks had concerns about the trees and wildlife within the area. As previously mentioned, Pat, there would be no tree removal, at least of healthy, alive trees. Anything would be for safety concerns, which I think is in everyone's, foremost in everyone's minds, as well it should be. And the trees that would be removed would just be minor snags or dead trees or branches. I noticed a couple folks' comments on wildlife disturbances. And it is my understanding that the disturbances would be very, very minor. Folks are talking about native birds and native animals who run through this area. As already mentioned, there would be no buildings, no concrete used, no permanent structures whatsoever that would disturb any habitat. Additionally, because there'd be no tree removal, or at least no healthy tree removal, native bird species should not be impacted. And it is also my understanding from disc golf that the discs themselves would not reach the upper branches of any tree and would not injure any bird species or animals as well. The point of disc golf is to get it on the target, and it would not impact any animal species. One of my concerns in the area is the native versus non-native plants in the area. As many folks alluded to, the eucalyptus are non-native invasive species which are naturalized along the coast. They spread like crazy, as I'm sure we all see in our own neighborhoods. There are some stands of native shrubs in the lower portion. I would really recommend for the construction, if it does indeed move forward, which I do support with revisions, that none of the native shrubs, including coyote brush and others, would be removed, since that is prime wildlife habitat, and the course should be built around that. Other than that, yes, I'm broadly supportive of this this program. I think it would be pretty beneficial, and I look forward to hearing future steps. Thank you.
Thanks, Ethan. Fran, yes, go ahead, Fran.
Hi. Yeah, I'm supportive of this. I'm happy that it's over on the school property and not here where everything else exists. So that's fine with me. If maybe I missed it, I don't know if you already said. I heard you at the Granada district meeting say that you had 49 responses and never heard, are they all positive, negative, half and half, what?
Sure. We have so far to date 57 responses. I purposely did not give a scorecard of how many might be negative and how many might be positive. I don't believe that's very helpful. What's helpful is to look at the comments themselves and see the substance of the comment. But we've received quite a few public comments and a lot of emotional response tied up with those comments, both positive and negative. Slightly more, well, considerably more positive responses than negative responses at this point.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say.
Okay, yeah, mute yourself there until I call you again. Anybody else on the Parks Advisory Committee?
I have one more comment.
Sure.
In regards to your feedback, were you able to, were there addresses attached, and what percentage of the feedback of the 56 adjacent homes did we get direct feedback from?
Okay, the way, again, it's not possible to identify the location of the resident of the commenter in all cases. So what we did was look at the content of the email and try to do the best we could and distinguish it. First of all, is it a positive, yeah, let's build it comment, or is it a no, we have concerns comment? Now, within those two categories, we had the vast majority of positive comments were within, well, I should back up. We split up each of those comments into residents of Granada Community Services District, residents of the coast side outside of GCSD, and residents outside of the coast side. Coast side was Montera to Half Moon Bay, including Half Moon Bay. So with that said, the vast majority of comments, positive comments, were from residents of the district. But we also had comments from the coast side outside the district. We also had comments from people outside of the coast side. All of the comments, the negative comments about the proposal were from people within the district. So you all, PAC members were all sent, and it was available on the GCSD website or agenda packet, all the comments. So split up into positive, negative, and then district residents, coastside residents, and non-residents.
Thank you.
Any more PAC member comments? All right, seeing none, and we can still have them later, I'm going to share my screen. And I summarized, this is my summarization, so I'll take responsibility for it. And can you see this, Fran and Rick and everybody?
Yes.
Can increase the size a little bit.
Yeah, please.
There we go. That's easier.
That's better.
Okay. This was my looking at the comments to date and identifying, splitting up into what might be identified as benefits and positive aspects of the proposal, as well as negative concerns and potential negative aspects of the project. So I'm just going to go through this very quickly because we don't want to spend all night on it. But the benefits, I think this is an important one. Disc golf is a casual game, easy to learn, inclusive, family-friendly, multi-gender, low cost, and fun. It appeals to all ages, youth and seniors. We had a lot of comments from seniors who were interested in this particular game and having a golf course built. We also have half of the junior and senior high school have disc golf classes, but no place to play on the coast side. I believe, and many of the commenters believe, that the proposed course is moderate in size. This is not going to be the sophisticated golf course like at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And because of that, it would primarily be used by locals, many of whom would ride a bike or walk to the course. They live in Granada. Why did they have to get in a car? Non-locals have better courses closer to home, so this is not going to be a huge draw for, we believe, for non-coastsiders. Many local commenters said they would volunteer to build and maintain the course. It's also worth noting that almost all of the courses in the Bay Area outside of private courses have been built and are maintained by volunteers. Coastside parents were particularly interested in finding healthy outdoor recreation activities and believe that golf would be a great thing for their family. Other commenters said that a properly designed course would work around existing paths and users and utilize land that is not currently maintained by anyone, other than neighbors who unofficially do a pretty good job of maintaining the area. The coastside is often missing easily accessible, low-cost outdoor recreation options for youth. And two commenter said, and this is cited as a major reason for young people leaving the area. Disc golf would encourage them to remain living in the town. One commenter mentioned noise from disc golf would be minimal, less than what from existing lawnmowers. Most disc golf can coexist well with users of walking and bicycling trails, and we've seen this at the other courses, disc golf courses in the Bay Area. And all the disc golf course managers that I've talked to said that once the disc golfers invest their time into local disc golf course, they pick up trash and really take care of it. It was mentioned that fire is a concern everywhere on the coastside, but that this disc golf course would not increase fire danger any more than what's there now with existing users. Here's one of the a couple senior comments. Exercise is very important once you get to about age 60, and there are no low impact moderate energy intensive facilities such as swimming pools on the coastside where seniors can exercise. The disc golf course would provide an incentive for seniors to walk more. Disc golf is a healthy weekday exercise routine for seniors in other parts of the country and would be here as well. Several folks mentioned disc golf fosters a sense of community across generations and between neighbors and friends. And finally, coastsiders who play disc golf will not have to drive over the hill or to San Francisco to play, thus reducing traffic and pollution. And finally, a disc golf course would benefit the local economy for those people who do come from somewhere else, because they stop in restaurants and utilize stores in the area. Any other, did any of the committee members have anything that they saw in the comments that was missed in this that you think would be important to add?
Nope.
No?
Looks like you have a pretty good list.
Okay. All right. So let's go to identified concern and negative aspects of this proposal. Increased trash from disc golfers. Increased noise. Houses that back up to the property will have more noise. Dogs will bark at strangers. Dog walking will be harder, having to dodge disc golfers. Increased risk of fire from disc golfers. It wasn't specified how this would increase the risk other than more people, I assume. Use levels in the proposal are underestimated. I will say that the levels were based on our experiences and the disc golf designer experience in all the other courses in the Bay Area. Plus, we surveyed disc golf course managing agencies and organizations to see if how many people played on a typical weekend versus the population of the community. Another concern was a larger buffer zone is needed between houses to reduce noise from golfers. There is another concern, there is inadequate off-street parking in the neighborhood, and golfers will park in front of houses. Another concern, it'll bring more people into their neighborhood. It would have a negative impact on wildlife. There would be more dumping, illegal dumping. Wetlands would be disturbed. There currently is no limits on use of that area, including the wetlands at this point in time. Increased presence of non-local individuals and the potential use of property for activities other than the one intended, including after hours. There currently isn't a fence around the property, and there's no proposal to put a fence around the property. And a fear was that disc golfers will take over the open space. Does anybody else from their reading of the comments, anybody else on the PAC from their reading of the comments, identify any other negative aspects or concerns that were expressed?
Well, as you were reading the about the concern for increased fire risk, I was just thinking you need to post signs, no smoking or use of any fires of any kind, fireworks, anything in that area.
Agreed. That is that's one of the mitigation measures is posting signs. There aren't any signs there now. Good point. All right, so I'm going to stop the share unless I hear anything. And I thought the next step would be for us to hear from the public, any public members who'd like to comment on the disc golf proposal. Only the disc golf proposal, please. You're limited to 3 minutes. And then after we hear public comments, I'll try to reconvene the PAC again to see if you want to move forward with this proposal or whether we stop it here. Okay, so if you're interested, go ahead and turn on your video and raise your hand. Say your name, where you live, and give your comments. So I have Chris Johnson.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
No? Okay, great. Sorry, I'm in my garage here. One, thank you for considering this. To me, this is exactly why we have Parks Authority with GCSD. I think it's a brilliant idea to partner with GCSD on this open space. This summer, as some of you know, I drove to Alaska and back through many of the distant territories of Canada and Northwest Territories, Yukon, everything. Dozens of disc golf courses did I see, as well as pump tracks, and niched in all kinds of little communities and environmentally sensitive areas. It's an organic sport in that way. When I was in college, we used to just go into the woods and call out that tree 3 shots. So it's very low impact. It's very organic. And the main thing for me is my child's 15. I've lived here 20 years. This would be only the second purposely built active recreation facility in the Mid-Coast in the 20 years I've been here. The other one came online in June or July of this year. So that's a long time to wait for active recreation. And that's the key here. This is active recreation. We have oodles and oodles of benches and trails, lots and lots of them. But we don't have much active recreation. And this is active recreation for not only the youth, but all ages. And it's really low impact active recreation. And I really, really support this. And look forward to walking from my house in El Granada. Yes, there might be some people coming from out of town, but an important thing about this kind of community installation is, and the reason I bring up that I saw somebody on my trip is lots of communities have this for their community members. And when you put one in your community, not only do your community members don't have to go to other places, but it's not a huge draw for people to come out of town because more than likely they have one in their community or nearby them. Nobody's going to drive from Danville to go play this disc golf course. So maybe somebody might come down from Montera, but we're all mid-coasters, right? So it's not gonna be some huge thing that's gonna be all over the social webs and bringing people in. So I'm really in favor of it. I guess I'm a little concerned because I read through the pack and I looked at all the comments. I had specifically sent in an email last week or the week before to GCSD and I didn't see my comments in the comments list. So I guess I'm concerned about how comments are being collected and how many haven't been added to the list. And then the last thing I'll say, and I appreciate the time, is I understand people have concerns. I looked at those list of concerns that Patrick just read out, and I think they can all be addressed. Some of them I feel are not somewhat disingenuous, but the concern I have, 2 concerns. If we're going to have a porta potty there, it needs to be emptied frequently. I don't know what, at least twice a week on a regular schedule and then checked by somebody, because that will become a problem after a while if it doesn't get emptied regularly. The other concern I had is that area does have some low-lying areas that get quite swampy during the wet season. And I'm not sure that existing trails will work during the wet season because I ride my bike through there all year round. And there are times when I cannot ride in low-lying areas because it is so swampy. So that's something to think about, is there might need to be some DG put down and some trails somewhere. All right. Thank you very much. Again, PAC, thank you for considering this and thank you for listening.
Yes.
Can I just ask Chris one question?
Yes.
Chris, do you recall what date you sent the email? Because I don't recall seeing your name come through. And I know initially in the beginning, there were some problems with the original emails we had given out, but I was very careful to try and go back and make sure that we forwarded every email that was received to the proper people. So if I missed yours, I apologize, but I would like to know when you sent it so that I can look for it.
That's a good question. I would have to, I'm on my phone right now. I would need to go and look
If you could
on my
forward it to
desktop
me again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If you could forward it
I'm
to me
pretty sure
again,
it was-
that way yeah, let you know what happened.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I don't think, I just like to say, Pat, I don't think that I missed any. So this was a surprise to me. There could be more out there, but I hope not. Like I said, I was very careful to go back and make sure that I forwarded every email. But we can go back and double check again. And if Chris can let me know when he sent his, I'll see if I can tell you what happened. Okay.
If anyone has looked at the comments, and those are everything that we've received, and yours is not there, then please resend it and we will add it to that list. Public comment period has not officially ended. We're still, taking public comments.
However, I would like to mention that there was a cutoff for this printing of this packet. So there have been a couple of comments that have come in after that did not make the cut just because we didn't get them in time.
That was the 18th. And so we're not getting rid of those comments. This is just, we have comments up to the 18th and 19th. Okay. Any other individuals want to comment about the proposal? And again, there will be many other opportunities to comment about this proposal as it moves along, if it does move along. And so this is not the final word by any means. We are at the early stages of this proposal process. Well, I'm not seeing any other public comments. Any other comments from the PAC members? Okay, so at this stage, I would like to propose that we have a discussion about whether the proposal and the comments that have been received so far, whether we should move this proposal forward to the disc golf subcommittee with needed revisions, and say there are needed revisions, and that the disc golf subcommittee would then revise the proposal and send it to the GCSD board for their next meeting, which would be September 15th, I believe. So that's what I would like you to consider tonight, PAC members. Should we move this proposal forward, or should we stop it right now? And if we do move it forward, it would be going to the Parks Subcommittee to make revisions, and we'll talk about any needed revisions once we get through this vote. So could I have someone on the Parks Advisory Committee make a motion, please?
Sure, love to. Let's make a motion to vote on this, to pass it up, see if we can move it forward.
I'll second.
Thank you, Brent.
Okay. We have a motion to move the proposal forward to the disc golf subcommittee. Is that right, Rick?
Correct. Pending revisions, correct?
And make revisions based on feedback that I'm going to ask for your feedback here in just a moment. And then have the disc golf subcommittee present their revised proposal to the board. Does that capture it, Rick?
I think that all sounds lovely.
Okay. And Fran, did you second that?
Yes.
Okay, Fran seconded. Any discussion?
What sort of revisions? Is that what we're talking about at this point?
Well, the mitigation measures that I discussed just prior, those would be incorporated into it. So those are not in the proposal right now. So those mitigation, at least not all of them. So those mitigation measures would move into the proposal, and at least. And we're going to be talking with the CUSD administration about any other concerns they have. So there might be some changes related to what they want as well.
And just skimming over all the comments and then your revisions, they actually line up quite well. And I think they address nearly all of them.
Okay, great. It's good to hear. All right, so
you have your hand up?
Yes. I just want to mention our next meeting, regular board meeting, is on September 15th. And that doesn't give you a whole lot of time to prepare your revisions and final report to the board, because I would need it at the latest by the 5th, Monday the 5th.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take out the part about getting it to the board by September 15th. And send it to the board. How about that?
I don't have a problem with that. If they're going to consider it, though, they would have to do so at a meeting.
Okay.
Probably be better. In fact, I would probably suggest that if you could provide the final report to staff, and then we'll prepare it and actually put it in the packet and make it an agenda item for their discussion on the 15th of September.
You're absolutely right. So we'll modify that motion to send it to GCSD staff as soon as possible for board consideration.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion? We have a motion and a second. All right, let's go ahead. I heard something.
I was just going to say, probably should take roll call because we don't know who's there.
We have Rick, Michelle, and Ethan, and you, Fran.
That's it?
We have 5 members, so we have a quorum.
Michelle says yes.
Yes. So let's go ahead and vote on the motion. All in favor, raise your hand so we can see it. Or say, yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. I see or hear 5.
Ethan put his hand up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Lower your hands, and then any opposed? There's no one else here, so the motion passes 5-0. Thank you all for supporting disc golf in the community. Okay, let's, if it's helpful to you, what we need to do is identify any concerns that were not listed in the mitigation measures that we talked about. So I will put those back on the screen. Where is it now? I'm not seeing it right now. Just a second, just one moment. I have to open it up. That's because I didn't put it up there yet. So it would take me a moment, but instead of doing that, let me ask the committee if they have any other suggested changes or modifications or questions about the mitigation policies that I mentioned before. Anything that we should add to that? Okay, so hearing none, I'm going to go with what we have mentioned before, but please feel free, and it's important if you think of something else, PAC members, to send them to me or to Delia, and we will try to incorporate them into the proposal, and then we'll send that to Delia and the staff to review and we'll back and forth, make any needed changes. And then hopefully Delia then will forward them to the board for consideration and put them on the agenda for the September 15th meeting. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Lovely.
All right. Well, moving on then, I think we are done with the first agenda item. And we'll then move on to the second agenda item, which is to discuss parking mitigation at Quarry Park. And again, the reason why we're bringing this up at the PAC meeting is that parking mitigation, that is the expansion of the parking lot at Quarry Park, was a mitigation measure for the pump track that GCSD was involved in. So that's why it's on this agenda here, and it's an important topic. Fran, do you want to discuss that?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Yeah, that's been a long-standing request of mine, even before the pump track, with all the activities going on over here. We absolutely need the extension of the parking lot, which the county started to do. They took out all the trees to create it, and they still haven't done anything. So it's short and sweet. Just, I want everybody, I would hope, would back us up that for them to get on with building and completing and extending the parking lot. I know that people that don't live right here don't realize how many activities there are. There are now new groups, 2 big groups that come on the weekends starting at 8 a.m. in the morning, take over the whole parking lot at 8 a.m. and start, if there more come, they start filling up, the street parking. And then the bicyclers come and the dog walkers come, and pretty soon we're inundated. And this is both Saturdays and Sunday mornings, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning now. And that's been going on for 2 months. So I'm pretty sure that the extended parking lot will take care of a lot of that. I'd like to encourage carpooling and for people that do come to these things, big groups, any group actually, even small groups, carpool. So there's enough parking for everyone. And then when you add parties in and everything else, it gets crowded. So I would hope everybody would back us up on getting the county to move on that. The Planning Commission, I think, has been holding it up for a coastal development permit. And so hopefully they're going to hear that soon, and I hope they approve it, and then the county, I think, can proceed. But until something happens, nothing's going on. So
Okay.
that's my request.
Yeah, I can give a status update. My team, Coastside Mountain Bikers, actually is working on this with Nick. We have a meeting with him every 2 weeks on pump track and Quarry Park related status. And you are correct. They are waiting for permits on that, and that is in process. And as much as we want to rush the government on things, that is what it is. And yes, I believe your message of carpooling and walking locally is a great message, and you have my full support in that. The other group that you are experiencing is it's a meeting of people that were displaced because they normally meet at Carter Park in Half Moon Bay, and that will soon be back open, and they will be gone again. So they are there for about 45 minutes, and then they are gone.
No, an hour.
Well, yeah, the meeting is 45 minutes long, but yes, it takes them a while to trickle in and trickle out, but yes.
Yeah. And before they leave, the dog walkers and the bikers start coming. I wish they'd all wait till after 9 o'clock. Then the parking is all free again.
Send me your schedule and I'll try to work around it.
Rick, because you did mention once that you told the bikers to park at the schoolyard.
And
well,
they do.
When I go by, I never see any over there. I see the park here.
There is a substantial amount of the adult mountain bikers that always park at the school every Saturday and Sunday when they ride. The children with their families, they will not be riding from the school. They will be using the parking lot there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it gets extended, I think there might be enough parking for
Did
the
you have an
overflow.
action item or something a motion or anything we could support with this
That's
agenda
it.
item?
Just I move, yeah, I guess I can move. I move that we get the county to proceed with extending the parking lot, completing the parking lot. Completing the extension of the parking lot.
I don't
I'm
think
confused.
word won't be get the county. How about encourage the county
In what manner?
to extend the parking lot as soon as possible? Keep it simple.
Great.
Encourage them? How do we do that? A letter? Are we suggesting a letter, an email, a phone call, a gift basket? What are we doing?
We can send something to GCSD board or staff and ask them to write a letter to the county parks to complete the parking lot expansion as soon as possible.
Does it have to go through the board, or can we do it? Can
You
we
can-
send a letter?
Can I speak for a moment?
Yes, Michelle.
So Rick already explained that this is going through the permitting process. Writing them a letter is a waste of our time and their time. They can only go as fast as they can go. They have a process. I just finished a 5-year build. So the process can be slow. But Rick just said that they're meeting with Nick every 2 weeks, and he just gave you an update. I don't see why goading them with a letter implying that they're not moving quickly is useful.
Well, I don't know about that. I just heard this now. So it's been put off for years, actually. So, they say they're going to do things, but they don't always. So I just think, it wouldn't hurt. I'm not going to badger them. I'm just going to say that I would hope that the PAC votes unanimously to support this extension and get it done, and just ask them to please move on with the permit process.
Okay.
And ask the planning commission to approve it, because they have to approve it too. And then it'll go on. And then it might get done. I don't know, maybe it has to go to the Board of Supervisors also.
Well, we can only do so much. We can write a letter, a supportive letter to either the staff or the board. I don't think we're in a position to write it to the county.
Yeah, it might be best if I could just suggest that if individual members want to support it, that they can do so as residents. Otherwise, anything asked of our district, I think, would have to go before the board, because I can't really make that decision. And we'd have to, so that would be September 15th. So I don't know if that's timely or not, but I mean, you could vote and decide to ask the board to write a letter, or you could just ask the members individually to support it.
And I believe the board is already on record with asking for more parking when they gave the grant for the pump track. So I believe that's already on record. The construction plan's already in process. So I'm not sure what more a letter at this point would do.
Well, can I just ask that our PAC group support the issue? That's all I'm asking.
Absolutely.
I would suggest as private citizens, you're going to get much more.
No, I think private citizens have been asking. So I think it's important that the PAC group that's been involved in Quarry Park issues, especially the pump track, you fought for that. So now we're just asking for the mitigation process of parking issue that should have been done at the same time or even before, that kept being put off.
I just have done. Fran, I do have some concerns with that, because basically PAC is an advisory board to our board of directors. And as an individual committee, you don't really have any authority to write a letter. There's no letterhead, to the county on behalf of PAC. It would have to really go through the board or be done as individual members.
Well, we won't write a letter, but we can certainly say that the PAC supports the extension of the parking lot to be done as soon as possible.
I think we're all in agreement there. No one is saying that they shouldn't do the parking. And I think it's just how much do we want to badger them on this? And I agree
It's
that
not badgering.
It's sooner than better would be great.
It's just the first time we've ever taken a stand. So I'm just asking so that they don't put it off any longer.
Okay.
So
Fran,
I made the motion and Patrick kind of cleaned it up a little bit. and Rick seconded it. So can we take a vote? Everybody support extending the parking lot?
Let's make sure we understand what the motion is. So the motion, I think, is just keep it simple. The PAC encourages the completion of the Quarry Park parking lot expansion to be done as soon as possible.
Good.
Okay. So
Yes.
Fran, does that meet your motion?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Is there a second?
Well,
I
Rick
will-
already seconded it.
I will second it.
I second that. Yeah.
Okay, Rick seconded. All right, so we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion?
Chris has his hand up.
Yes, go ahead, Chris.
One sec. Let me. Let's see. Sorry.
By the way, welcome back, Chris.
Thank you. I don't know if you can see. I'm in my garage still, and it's now dark. I'm on my bike trainer, pedaling and listening. But so I feel on both sides of this issue. I understand what Michelle and Rick are saying. Like, we've asked them, they acknowledge that they're going to do it. But I also acknowledge what Fran is saying, which is it only takes one birthday party, and that whole parking lot's filled up. And I know where Fran lives, and I know it's, it can be a problem. So I'm glad that county's on it. But to Fran's point, how long were we working on that pump track from the day when we stopped them from destroying the road one, and they said, okay, we're definitely going to do it, from that January meeting at the MCC? It was still 2+ years. I think I don't think it's goading them. I don't think it's annoying them. I think it's just on the record, as Fran was asking, just like, hey, this is an issue, speed it up, because I noticed they had time to go over and destroy the road pump track, take care of that. So maybe they could prioritize this to a higher level. I know this is off topic, but I'm not up to speed on this topic, but I would also just ask, has the cleared out traffic circle at the end of Avenue Cabrillo been considered as an auxiliary parking lot? Because that used to be kind of a fun little place for people to play and shaded trees and stuff. And now it's just a dirt lot. Seems like it could go to use. Anyways, I support a gentle reminder letter to the county saying, can we reprioritize this to a higher level, because it is an issue. It's a very used park now, which is great, which is what we all wanted, but there needs to be more parking as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments on the motion? All right, we have a motion, and I'm going to call for a vote here. Chris, go ahead and lower your hand, please. So all PAC members in favor of the motion, raise your hand or say aye.
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 Okay, I had 4. Those opposed, raise your hand or say no.
Whose hand's not raised? Mine's raised.
Michelle, oh, okay, I'm sorry. So all 5, so it's unanimous then.
Did Ethan vote? I'm sorry, I didn't see Ethan's vote.
Ethan voted.
Okay.
Yes, I voted aye.
All right.
So it's 5-0. The motion passes. Thank you all. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Next agenda item, discuss recreation programs. There isn't really much to discuss here because there haven't been many recreation programs. The one that's upcoming, Delia, can you tell us about the upcoming movie night?
Yes, on October 1st, they're going to start the movie at 7 15, but I went ahead and put 7 o'clock on the notice. They're going to show Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So I think it's a great family movie. Julie Mel from Beach Bake Entertainment is putting the advertisement out there, and she's also doing the registration, that program where people can register. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary, but it does give us an idea of how many people to expect. And the county parks rangers will also be there, as they were last time, to help out and provide some things, I guess, that are needed for the movie night. So I haven't actually made it to one myself, but I hope to make it to the one on the 1st, and that way I can see what everybody does. But that will be also placed on our website, the GCSD website, and we'll put some flyers up as it gets a little bit closer as well. So that's that. And I do know that Barbara Dye and Nancy Marsh were planning on doing some walks, but I haven't heard anything about that schedule yet. So I have no information.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Well, I will just mention, thank you, Delia. I will just mention that it's personally disappointing to me that not more programs have been developed. There's certainly some opportunities there, I think. All right, let's move on to the 4th item, which is scheduling the next PAC meeting. You all were provided in the packet a calendar. So you can refer back to that, but by way of introduction, maybe Rick, you want to do this instead of me. Rick, do you want to take this discussion item?
I am not prepared for that. Go for it.
Okay.
I can just mention something, Pat. The PAC is required to have 4 regular meetings per calendar year. We really need to set them at the beginning of the of the calendar year. I don't believe we really did that this year, but I hope to incorporate that change into the regulations. But I believe that there needs to be one more regularly scheduled PAC meeting between now and the end of the year. It can be changed so that, as long as, we know if enough people can't make it, we can always cancel the scheduled meeting and reschedule for another date. But it would be really great if we could just set a date so that way we have a set regular meeting, and hopefully it'll work out. If not, again, it can be changed.
Okay. All right. Well, I agree with Delia. We have to set at least one. And Rick, if you're good with this, one meeting before the 1st of the year. And it would be helpful for everybody concerned if we would also set the next meeting so that we can put it on our calendars and not miss it. I would suggest.
Didn't we set it up at the beginning of the year, the 4 dates? But now I can't find my calendar.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it. So, maybe I missed that, but I'm not aware of any other dates being set between now and the end of the year. I could be wrong, though.
I'm going to look for my calendar.
Okay. Well, wait a second. And while she's looking, I don't have any PAC dates on my calendar. Does I don't know if anybody else does.
I didn't set any. So.
Okay. Well, let's try.
I guess the dog ate it.
The dog ate it. Those dogs. I would like to propose a meeting in November or early December. We know that the Thanksgiving holiday week of the 24th is gone, so we can't do that. We could have it the 13th of Monday, the 14th. Mondays seem to work with people. So Monday the 14th, or we could have it December 5th, Monday. Is there any preference among the group for 14 November or 5 December?
Well, I was kind of thinking that because of the holidays with Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the activities that take part at that time of year, that maybe we should have it around the end of October instead. What do you think of that?
I'm not in the country at that point in time, but that shouldn't hold us up.
Okay. No, did you say the 5th of November?
November 14th
Oh,
or December 5th.
okay. As long as it's after the election. That's good.
Yeah.
Either of those dates work for me.
Okay. Ethan, you're okay?
Yeah.
And Michelle, how about you?
December 5th is better, but I can do both. I just on a second meeting on the November date.
Okay. Rick, how about you?
Mondays are fine.
Okay. So,
Me
so
too.
far, okay, Fran. So far we had, it looks like December 5th, Monday, December 5th would be the next PAC committee meeting. Any final comments about December 5th? Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. Hearing none, Delia, we have a December meeting for you.
Right. I've got it scheduled.
Okay. We can even really be bold and try to schedule something in February or March.
No, let's do that in December.
You want to try that in December and wait until, well, we'll do it in the November meeting. Excuse me, December meeting. Yeah. Okay. Delhi, are you okay with that?
I am available on the 5th.
Okay, terrific. And let's just try. We can try to find a date. How about Monday, February 13th? Monday, February 13th.
Sure.
Anybody have a problem with Monday, February 13th?
No, that'll work for me.
Not at this point.
Okay, so Delia, we have another one for you on your calendar, February 13th. And that's
Wait, I'm looking at my calendar. I have two meetings on that night. That is not going to be very participatory. I mean, this whole Monday thing is, I've got meetings on Mondays.
okay. Tuesday is Valentine's Day. That doesn't work. Wednesday, the 15th.
How about February the 6th? I could do that. I don't have any meetings at all.
February 6th.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What day is that?
Monday.
I would be remote, so I wouldn't be able to prepare for that, but I could attend.
Sixth also works for me.
How about the 20th?
20th was available for me as well.
Okay, 20th.
Sure.
The holiday. I will be out of town that date.
Oh, it's President's Day. Oh, shoot.
And that's right close to the Granada District Board meeting. So I know Delia doesn't like to have them too close. Don't we usually have to keep them a couple of weeks apart?
How about the 27th?
Makes it a little easier.
I will not be in the country.
Michelle, if Mondays don't work for you, I think Tuesdays would also be reasonable.
Nah, it's all right. I mean, I can't do 3 meetings at once. That's the only one day that I can't do 3 meetings at once. The other
February 7.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
What day is that?
Tuesday, February 7.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, as far as I know right now.
Sure.
Yeah, 7 o'clock's fine. Yeah.
Same.
Okay. I know I will be not in town, but I can usually check in remotely. So I won't be able to head the meeting or be organizing it or anything like that, but that will work. February 7th it is. So Delia, you can put that on your calendar and let's call it good for the night.
Okay.
All right.
That's right.
Well, We have accomplished a lot. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 8:25, or excuse me, 8:20. And we will talk with you in December at the next PAC meeting.
Okay.
Sounds
Good night,
great.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.